Welcome back to popolitickin.com, your home for self-help meets hip-hop. Make sure you check us out on Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon. Type in Politickin, listen to my interviews since 2008. 1212, I'm place to be with Rhymrcka. How you doing?
What's going on, bro? Friday, pre-gaming, sunglasses, and Advil.
I would say I got the daily question for you, man. See what you think about this question.
Okay.
Man, how you think Craig's parents would have felt if he would have died over that $200?
Craig's parents?
Yeah, on Friday.
Oh.
All that shit was over $200. Like, damn, you couldn't have gave that man $200? But but then too, he got a cutthroat weed man. Like, damn, you killing him over $200 a weed?
Yeah. Actually, he would have died over Smokey.
Yeah.
Find out it was $200.
Yeah, so that's crazy.
It just show you the quality of life back then.
I know, right?
Life can change for $200.
Huh. So yeah, so wait, what's your hometown? Where you from?
I'm from Staten Island, New York City, and downtown Brooklyn, and I had a part in South Bronx. But Staten Island is my root, and then Brooklyn. You know, if you got your grandma live over here, grandma too, and my family is from downtown Brooklyn. My mom's moved to Staten Island, so the root is still on Brooklyn, and we on Staten Island. So you know, it's a lot of going back and forth. So that's why you hear on autobiography, I had so much information because I was traveling between three boroughs constantly. You know what I mean? The Bronx is where hip hop started. You know, and Brooklyn is its own movie. And then Staten Island was this I don't know, like early days they were trying to count us out. But I guess we was like an inevitable asteroid coming to the earth when that 36 chambers hit. You know what I'm saying? Like we ain't been fronted on since. You know, you didn't even know it's that many dudes coming out. You know what I'm saying? So it's remarkable.
So what's your earliest memories of hip hop?
My earliest memories of hip hop are the park jams. The DJ's out, the whole community is out. And it wasn't really rap records out. It was the most hottest banging R&B grooves, and they had the breaks. It wasn't nobody rapping yet. So it'd be like Jimmy Spice or Just Begun and stuff like that. So if the beat if it fit our tone, it hit our young frequency. But most of it was like Good Times, Tina Marie Square Biz, and then the MCing came. So that was my first experience.
Yeah, how did you get into the game?
My entrance to the game?
No, how did you get into the game? Yeah.
Oh, my homeboy. My day one homeboy. This is ill. He was doing demos and stuff like that. That's what they used to call him, doing demos. And a producer he went to, I could rap, but I was more into producing at that time. I had a Casio SK1. It was like a little keyboard at 1.4 sampling time. So we high speed dub and give you the double, like 2.8 or something like that. So you can imagine. And I would come to his sessions when he needed to do background vocals or crowd vocals and stuff like that. And, you know, just kicking it, you know, cracking jokes, bugging out. I was talking my ish. And the producer was like, yo, man, you talk a lot of, you know, what you do. And I was like, I could do it all, baby. I just can't sing like in full detail. And he said, I want to hear you. He put a beat on. And he was like, let me hear you. And then he stopped it. He's like, yo, I might want to work with you. And that pretty much was me starting to do my demos. And that producer was DR Period.
Yeah, shout out to DR Period. Like I said, I interviewed him back in the day, like I want to say 2000, probably like 10 years ago. Right.
My first studio experience wasn't with him. It was my boy Tim, Tape Master Tim, rest in peace. We lived in the same building, and he took me to the other homie. They were like my mentors, and he had a studio in his crib. I just told somebody about this. So you got to think about 91 or something like that, 92. He had a studio in his crib. But pick this, it was all on a laptop.
Back then? Wow, he was ahead of the game like a mug, huh?
Tech, like he was ahead of his time. So can you imagine someone who's used to seeing a full-on studio come into a room and then see everything on speakers, but it's this little laptop? The metronome is clicking and all that. And that's how I learned how to do bars. Everybody has the same story. What's a bar? You got to learn to count bars. So that was my very first. Those guys were the mentors that kind of showed me this is how music recording goes. And now you're an artist and trying to get me on. And then from that point, I just, once your homeboy is, saying that the right plug come, you get a little older and that plug come, so as a professional, that started at DR studio. Next level.
And then I read you was a part of Next Level, and that was like a breeding ground of MCs and producers, right? Back in the day.
Yeah. Especially it's like kind of like when you look back in retrospect at all the people that was there, it was like kind of like Charles Xavier School for Gifted Children.
X-Man, huh?
And everybody, I guarantee everybody that probably is still going or have achieved some success, still doing things, their recording habits are probably still the same. They know 120 to this is your last day. But back then it was a lot of yelling. You know what I'm saying? It was like, all that yelling stuff. But we learned how to go hard. You had to learn to push yourself. And then when you got a lot of people in one small space and it's a lot of talent, this group comes out with a song. So you hear that, and then you go, and you know what I'm saying? So
who was all a part of the Next Level?
Myself, Smooth the Hustler, Trigger the Gambler, DB Elias Christ, Red Sam. But that first set was that Pain, Headless Horseman, Super Knocker, Flip City, Extreme Tension, Overlord Guest, myself, and then me and Guest was the Punishers at one time. And Fox, she wasn't on paper Next Level, but our manager managed her, and then the production company, we was all like family, and they nurtured her there. So we all came up, and the L part was like me and Fox didn't have stage names yet. The rest of them already had their names, their monikers. We didn't have names, but we were still cutting demos. So that show you how paying dues goes. Like we here working, and you haven't finalized your stage name yet. And shout out to her, Fox, aka that was her original joint. She still got a line, I say from 92, 93. She said 5'3" and getting bigger by the gun. You know what I'm saying? And this is when she was young. So shout out to Inga, shout out to all Next Level, Rocco, Divine, Rafiq, DR period, because we all did something incredible and we got to travel the world together. You can't change.
And then you had you was like one of the back then you was like doing the thing like I know Lil Wayne and Jay-Z they don't write down their rhymes, and I know you said you were in the early 90s. So how did you start doing that back then?
I was being lazy because you writing rhymes. I was being lazy, and I'm writing so much. You write down and then you gotta scratch all that out, or you erase all that. and then you erase so much, it just looked like garbage, and then you got to write again and start over. And I'm writing so much and messing up because I'm a perfectionist. I'm trying to make sure everything goes in. And then I was like, I'm getting tired of this writing thing. Maybe the more I remember, the less I got to write. That was the idea. And then it just turned into this, let me see if I can remember some more. And then it became a great tool because now I can make rhymes on the spot. Kind of like you got your cell phone, you can do whatever you want. It had that type of effect. And the L part was you can edit rhymes right in your head on the spot if you heard a beat and that rhyme didn't go to that beat. But at the same time, I'm just working it out. I'm new to this gift. My boys is in the studio. They're looking at me like, yo, this is crazy. This is real crazy. Dude is not writing this stuff down. Unbeknownst, I didn't know Big J was doing it. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, probably. And I wasn't the first. It was someone before me. It was a few people before me, but in my era, first, like one of the first. You know what I'm saying? But it wasn't known.
Then you was talking about the broken language flow.
Yeah, I invented that flow. That's my flow. In the course of writing unwritten rhymes, in your head, it sounds like a lot. It's like a long, infinite verse, but it might only been 4 or 8 bars. And then when you get towards the end of the song, I'm short like 7 bars, 8 bars, 6 bars. And I'm still working this thing in my head. I'm still new to it. And I needed to fill in the space. So I started doing this. I'm the mic ripper, soul stripper, going into this just to fill up the bar slots. You feel me? So it became like a technique. Whenever I'm short, boom, 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 boom. And it sounded good. And I was executing it, And that's how it started. It was all technical.
But then the video, so it was a video called Broken Language, but you wasn't in the video.
I'm in the video.
I mean, you wasn't like, it wasn't. Yeah.
I think we was in Yonkers. We had a show out there. Shout out to Kenny G. And we was all out there for the show. And they played a song. You had a session. You played a song. The crew hear it. And it came on. And I was just like, wow. Partner, he looking at me. He's like, wow. But it's hot. But I'm feeling the way. Definitely feeling the way. And now I'm in an awkward position. It's like, we team. It's that thing with Nas and Jay. You made it a hot verse. I made it a hot song.
I was thinking it in my head, but I didn't want to say it to you. I was like, he might feel a kind of way when I say that. I was thinking that in my head.
I'm just sitting there listening to the song. Can you imagine hearing it and it's executed well? And you're kind of like, so I don't know. It's most awkward, to be in. But I'm a team player, and then this record takes off. And then this record pretty much opened the door for all of us to get our deals. So it's the weirdest of the weird things. But never had a conversation about it. And I never said anything about it for like 20 joints. But I'm tired. You know what I'm saying? It's the truth.
Was it a remix? It wasn't no remix or nothing like that with you on it? They should at least put you on. They should have added you on the verse or something.
Competition at that time was at an all-time high. You wouldn't really want me on your records with you. But we did the Hustlers Thing remix. It's out there if you listen to it. I go in the middle of him and Trigger. I think they're doing like 24s or something like that, and they're going in. I just come in the middle. I do my part because my deal had started. So basically, it's like now we got to start the piggybacking system. He got to go because his project is eventually going to drop after your project. So we have to start introducing each other. But when you're 20 and you're 19 you're all testosterone, you're all ego, and you're very immature, and it's about shining. Shining versus the business model that we're trying to do, because we got to have more than one revenue stream. And by doing that, you got to have several artists. So, you know, getting on songs is like, I'm not on the first Smooth album. I'm not on that. I'm on Trigger's album, but I'm on a remix to the Hustler's theme, which was on Smooth's album. And I don't, to this day, I can't tell you how many bars I did, but they was like, keep going. I said, nah. That's when you know you good, because you never heard a rapper go, nah, I'm good. Because I know what I did. I know what my verse was going to do, and I plugged myself by saying my name at the end to promote myself.
I'll say, why you went by Rhymrcka?
Rhymrcka, I was into science fiction. You know, I'm a nerd from the hood, but still nerd. Most of the homies, you know what I'm saying? You see how vivid their imaginations are, you know what I'm saying, by hearing what they rhyme about. So I was into, you know, science fiction, and like Transformers was out, all this stuff. You want to have, like, you know, you always trying to have a fly name. I was like, I wanted to make it sound kind of robotic and still like an MC. And it was like Rhymrcka. So the rhyme is the organic part. The record is the machine that, you know, spits. You just spit like a Gatling gun. And then one of my homeboys, rest in peace, his name was Rhymrcka. So it was dope to me to pull his name, my name too.
Yeah, it's funny. One of the homies we interviewed, his name's actually the Gatlin. you said the Gatlin.
That's dope. I'm surprised I haven't heard that name early on. You know what I'm saying? Somebody should have been, especially when Gat came out, was the word for the hammer, like the Gat. So
yeah, then you was telling me, so you said you was writing you was doing the rhymes in your mind, but then something happened to you where you had to start writing them.
Yeah, I had brain surgery. I had a seizure in a barbershop. I fell asleep in a barbershop and I woke up in a hot, like going into an ER. What's going on? I don't know what happened. It's the craziest shortcut, you know, segue into something I've ever experienced in my life. One day your life is going humdrum, every day. It's starting to get groundhoggish. And then the most exciting thing happens where you could die. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just like, what just happened here? I don't even know what happened, because it's a blank spot in life for me. Like old black and white TV, you know, you cut it off, you go push it and go, doo, right? It cut off. And then it cut back on, doo, it come back on. That's how my brain cut back on.
Yeah.
So I don't know what happened. You could tell me anything. I didn't know what happened. I couldn't figure it out myself. I was just sitting there in an empty ER, and I got a, tooth hanging out my mouth because they had to put a comb in my mouth to keep me from, severing my tongue and stuff like that. And they were saying you could hear all the joints and muscles in my jaw going like this. Yeah. Like sometimes I don't even, when people will tell me that, even talking about it kind of triggers me back. I don't know, like maybe it imprinted in my head or something. I don't know. But it was the most craziest thing I've experienced in my life. And I've seen crazy things. And when you get face to face with your own mortality, you're gonna be different. And you come out of it, my perception of time is how I look at time is different. To me, every day is Friday. Every day I wake up is Friday, good or bad. And I'm using Friday as the moment everybody likes to exhale and rejoice. Every day is that for me because it's a blessing.
That's funny. I asked you about Friday when we first started.
But it was a long process, and it wasn't a cakewalk. A lot of life changing, like really, like you could heal physically fast, but then the trauma mentally is still, you know, factoring and stuff like that. And now with that thing, I'm an epileptic, and I ain't never been no epileptic. You know what I'm saying? It's not in my family history of it or anything. So when I seen that written on the paper, it kind of threw me for a loop.
What does that mean?
Like you have seizures. Like I have seizures. I'm prone to having seizures. Like I have them now, but you can't tell because my muscles is always tremoring and shaking. If I let go, it took me a long time to learn how to constrict my muscles together. So there's times I couldn't walk up the stairs. I got stuck in a chair once where I couldn't get out the chair. My body just wouldn't cooperate. So when people come at me like, "Oh, let me hear you rhyme," I'm like, dude, I'm not all there today. You don't know what's going on. But with the creator, because that also shows you might think you important, but that showed me how small I am in the universe. And you know what I'm saying, the grand scheme of things, and how much you're not in control of things. So with that being said, the tremors and stuff and seizures, it's probably a small price to pay to still be here, bro. And
so what makes you still want to, like, so what pushed you to still do music?
I tried to attempt to do it, and it just wasn't there. And I was forcing myself to do it. It's kind of like when a guy goes to jail and they get out and they're trying to catch up to the crowd for the time lost. And I just wasn't there. And me being young, I was hard-headed and you're ego-driven. And also, you're trying to catch up to the person you used to be. You know, just like if you're 40 years old and you're trying to be out here in the street on the corner banging, you know, you look like,
yeah.
You know, so you're just doing that and trying to get back to it. And it took a long time. It took a long time in life. You battling depression, you know, stuff like that. And then when you hear verses and people like you still rhyme like that, you know. But it takes a lot. Some days just I get that feeling just, you know. But the craziest part about it, 1992, I stopped writing on paper. In the back seat of the car with my homeboys, Doug and Overlord Guest. And we was going to DR Studio, and I was writing. They heard me mumble, and I'll tell you why. This is the reason why I'm telling you. They heard me mumbling. They said, "What you doing? You talking to yourself?" I said, "No, I'm going over the verse in my head." And they said, "What are you talking about?" I said, "I'm writing verse in my head." So that's their first time they knew about it. They even heard about it. But I said, "I'm going to do this for like 10 years. And then I'm going to take my time, start writing. I'm going to really go in." 92, I stopped writing on paper. 2002, I had my brain surgery. And I haven't did that off the head stuff since. So the plan still went as planned. I just didn't mean it that way. It's such a dramatic fashion, you know?
Yeah. So what you been working on? Like, what are some of your current projects you've been working on?
I'm working on a Rhymrcka solo project, a few other things. I'm really trying to put out some good product. Luckily, or thankfully, or creatively, you know what I'm saying, with the creative blessing of letting me do what I do. I got 3 singles out. They all been good, you know what I'm saying? They've all been received and people connect with it. And that's the best part, you know, when you do something and people connect to what you're doing. So that's one audience member at a time. So just doing those albums, trying to put out a nice catalog of music, trying to do some other creative things like short film. I have a photography book that's going to come out as well, probably around the time of the project, because I do photography. I do a couple other things. So hopefully that'll be well received as well.
What kind of pictures you take?
Just urban, industrial, city, anything that catches my eye, like cinematically, when I see it. And I went to school I went back to school for a while. I was going to school for film and music. So the techniques it taught me, it's like, I'll tell anybody, if you you know, you see, if you go to a movie set, you see all this great stuff, right? You're like, I need all that before I can. I'm gonna tell you something. One, like what I learned, pre-production is like 70% of the whole game, right? Shooting is probably 10, 20, and well, about 10, and then 20 is post. So if you got a good eye and you got lighting and you can cut, you got a movie. You just got to learn the steps, or someone show you, or jargon, rhetoric, technique, and terms. But the whole trick in life, if you notice, you could do anything. And not how they used to tell us, you could do anything you want. Because I've heard if you do 10,000 hours in anything, you're a master professional at it. So
you saying and then you do a lot on your phone too, right?
Yeah, I edit video and shoot videos on my phone. I do all my artwork. I do my album covers. I edit on my phone, and I shoot. I do photography. Yeah, like I shot the Matrix. No, I didn't shoot the Matrix on my phone. My homeboy, the Real Knots, and Spade, Rhymrcka, they shot the video for me on the phone though, which is dope because we kind of like to. I hang out with dudes that are real techie, but still, you know, still gritty. You know what I'm saying? But we just love technology. So we shot that on the phone. He sent it to me. I edited it on my phone. Also I shot and edited The Walking Dead on my phone too. And most of all the commercials you see, I shot and edited on my phone.
Yeah, you do graphic design too, right?
Ooh.
Don't you do graphic design?
Yeah, that's how I do all the artwork, you know what I'm saying? My posters, my album single covers, and all this stuff really came from, you know, back about 15, 20 years, you know, you got to go to somebody to get it done.
Yeah, you can tell doing that.
Like earliest on, DR, he be so busy and you waiting for a beat. I'm like, man, I don't want to wait for no beat. I'll make my own beat. And besides, who know what kind of beat I want to rhyme better to than me?
Right.
So I gotta wait or find somebody with beats or do my own beats. So now I'm doing production. I need artwork. Either they can't understand what I'm trying to convey to them, or I gotta wait online forever. Who know my vision more than me? Me. You know?
You just like cutting the middleman out, huh?
Yeah. Like, who now they distribute music better than me? Me. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, and it's all because I actually wanted professionals or set masters or they trap to do it, but they schedule, and I'm not really about waiting.
Mm-hmm.
I'm learning patience now, you know, over the years. But you know, when you're young, it was like my attitude was all or nothing, and I go all or nothing. Then it's not always the best recipe. All right.
So what you got planned what are some of your goals for the rest of the year?
Well, first goal probably creatively is to get this project out. I'm trying to go 2020, but I think it's safe to say I'm gonna go top of 2021.
You're almost over already, really? Shit.
Yeah, it's pretty much the same. It's like crossing the street to the next year. So, but just doing that, getting that project out, getting that brand up, trying to connect to more listeners and audiences, and get this music out, because it's still, even with the buzz is doing, there's so much more territory it hasn't reached, and I'm just learning that. Like the Matrix just made its whole website in Pakistan. No way in the world. In my first rhymes, in my first studio sessions, could I ever think a record of mine Pakistan, you know? Nor think that we doing a whole radio.
You never know though. You know what? You know, like, and then the thing about it is, it might be like shit. It might be a black dude out there stationed out there. You don't know who it is. It might be somebody, it'd be weird like that.
And then, I'm working with MJ, you know what I'm saying? PR, Super PR, MJ, Hip Hop Connects. That's the homie right there. She really pushes my product. She believes in my product. She pushes music. And if it ain't broke,
Yeah, I know you. I had Hot G on the show. Y'all work together too, right?
Yeah, I was just with him last night. That's why I got this shade.
Oh, he got you right.
Oh man, like I thought that the tequila wasn't hitting me until I woke up. So yeah.
And I was reading it said you kind of when you first started, you had a track with Capadonna.
We did which I didn't even know was this cult classic for years. We did the Tony Touch First Tape 50.
Yeah.
And we live in the same building. Me and Kappa. Me, Kappa, and Street Life live in the same building. Deck lives in the 160 next time. Ray's across the street. Meth is down the block around the corner, I think I came from the city or something, a park. I was chilling in front of the building, and I seen this Spanish dude with a ponytail and a Jeep. But I'm just chilling, getting some air. So Cap, the homie Blue, they come out. No, Tech, no, it was Cap, my boy T. Came out the building. The Spanish dude comes out the car with this long ponytail. They like, what's up? They talking. I'm just, because I'm in the cut. I'm right here. This all in front of my building. So he's like, yo, you ready? And then Cap turned around and said, yo, Rec, you want to do a mixtape? I'm like, fuck it. Yeah, let's do it. Went to D&D Studios. Go in there. The rest is history. I didn't even, you do it. I mean, we from Killer Hill, from the district. Rhyming, that's what we do. We put that pen to that paper, you know what I mean? And didn't know there was going to be some historic or, or legacy with that Tony Touch. And I think my brother-in-law told me, yo, this dude is still selling that tape like every year. It's like, I didn't know. We didn't know what mixtapes was going to do. Right. You do a mixtape and it just go. People just react, and then, oh, this is okay. Let's keep going. You know what I'm saying? Like, if it worked, everybody's gonna work it. And the mixtape era, the hip hop, probably one of the best things in hip hop too, because it launched a lot of careers.
Then who was your top 5?
I just told them I don't really have a top 5, and I told them, I said, yo, if I listen to this Kool G Rap album, then Kool G Rap is the best. I don't really care about nobody. It's Kool G Rap. I don't know. Because you could do your top 5 from everybody from when you was a kid that inspired you. But now you're older, and this top 5 is different from that top 5. My only suggestion to top 5, I think it should be limited to decades, like eras. Because it looks stupid. Like, y'all keep trying to compare LeBron to Michael Jordan.
But they do it.
Makes no sense. He doesn't. It's just a conversation piece to get people to keep going. Like, you can't compare. Jordan's NBA is different from LeBron's NBA. Yeah, y'all was more physical, but then you look at the average of incredible players coming in.
Yeah.
Because when you look at the NBA, right? Let's say you come in and you was the ish. You know what I'm saying? You was hot. You're number 1 draft pick. You got to think that everybody you playing against was the number 1 draft pick. Right. And they all played McDonald's All-American, and they all was AAU. You know what I'm saying? They all was the best player of their high school era. So it's a whole bunch of number 1s. So now it gets to the point where between genius and super genius in the room, you know what I'm saying? So players that me and you probably idolized got to the NBA and he lukewarm. But anything below them, they're killing. You know?
Yeah, I would say, what advice would you give to new artists as far as building their career?
I wouldn't sign as fast because you don't have to. And I don't go for just new artists. I go for artists in now. The power of the internet and digital distribution is incredible. Like I said, you're in San Diego. I'm out here on the East Coast. And we're doing a full-on show. So for the younger artists, and this should be canon, they should not have to go through the pain and the suffering business-wise that we went through. No one really pulled our coat to what was going on. They didn't tell us the trappings. They just let you figure it out. Like, I'll give you a jewel. You ever notice old people never tell you about what happens when you old? And they going through it. They don't even warn you. They just gonna let you get old and go through it too.
I know, right?
Only thing old dudes will tell you, don't you ever get married. That was the only thing they used to tell us. Don't do it. Don't do it. Everything else, oh, they gotta find that out for themselves. You know what I'm saying? So for young dudes, all the power's in your hand. You have like, I have distribution on my phone. My music is distributed off of my phone. You could never told nobody that. You couldn't tell Clive Davis that. It's going to be on your phone. You know? You got distribution, your ownership of your masters. You control your marketing. You actually are your own marketing. You know what I'm saying? Booking their own shows. A&Rs, you know what I'm saying? It used to be like a whole floor with the A&R department. The A&R department right now is when I'm in the studio and rocking, and I pass that L to my homeboy who's been with me from day one. Shout out to Ty Boogie. How that sound? This is the one. So that one guy just eliminated a whole A&R department, and he's spot on with the music. So that makes him an A&R. You know? So now the average was, you know what I'm saying, a whole record label. I don't know the total number of employees for a record label per building in the city, but now a whole record label can be run by like 5 people now.
Yeah, I was gonna say, how many people do you need then? Or what people do you need?
Right? You know, say how many people do you need? And then everybody's multitasking. You don't know an artist that doesn't do something else. So these kids only. The 360 deal is, you know, that's the draconian deal. You know that. They're not supposed to have access to all your revenue streams. But when they get a piece of everything, you get exposed to and access to everything. So you got a guy that come out with a record probably 2 weeks ago. He's only on the 60 city tour. Who booked the tour? The machine is booking the tour already.
Because they getting some money.
Because they get the money. And now, dead rappers better than live rappers.
Yeah. That shit be making me sad how I be hearing Prince music out everywhere now. I'm like, hey, you know that shit wasn't gonna happen if he was alive.
Oh no. Oh, you had to really ask him.
Yeah, he didn't play that shit. Now you hear his shit on fucking grocery store commercial. You like, what the fuck? What are you doing on this grocery store commercial? Like, man, they ain't playing my man.
I hope that, you know, his family, the state, get that money because, you know, he fought hard. You know, I didn't really agree with him going back, but his fight exposed everybody to, oh, it's other stuff that goes on in this contract that y'all need to know. And you're gonna have to figure it out. And he pretty much championed the internet music selling.
Yep. And then what would you like to say to your fans and supporters?
Thank you for the long journey. Because I meet people and they be like, yo, man, I've been listening to you since this. And all I could say is, man, I'm humble and I'm thankful. Because I'd have been like, nah, they don't want to hear that from me. And then people be like, nah, they want to hear from you. You know, they want to hear from you. They want they want to hear from you because you left good. You just left with good verses everywhere. People do want to know, and people still want to hear lyricists. You know what I'm saying? They want to hear lyricism. And now with the internet, we can identify these, you know, these demographics for like me and you to target. And I'm just thankful for that. I'm thankful to be able to do what I love. I try to stay away from a lot of negative energy and the drama. You know, you get older, my perspective as an artist is different. I'm totally different because when we was younger, you do a show, right? You gonna stay there to the end to the club close.
You gonna have your set over now, huh? Right, your set got to know.
I'll be elbowing the promoter like, yo, man, listen, put me on here, man, because I want to get home and watch Billions. You know, my series, you know what I'm saying? Like, a cook, kicking on my girl, you know what I'm saying? I had things to do. But I love the performing. Oh, I love the whole creative process. And I just thankful that the listeners, the audience, the people that really dig good music mess with me and they want to see me do more. And that's it. And the whole thing is to continue to create dope product. Whatever you do, you gotta make good product. You can't make bad product and then force it. You know what I'm saying? It's like food that don't taste good, you forcing it down their mouth. Although we see it happening, but nah. You know what I'm saying? Ain't it?
All right, bro. I want to say thanks for coming through politicking with me.
Bro, it's been a pleasure. And anytime, you know what I'm saying? We could do it. I'm with it. Conversation pieces, topics, whatever, man. You know what I'm saying? As long as I could do it, when our times link up, I'm with it. I just wanna thank you for allowing me to be on your platform, bro.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Each platform with, you know what I'm saying, humble. Cause you don't have to. Straight like that.
Yeah, appreciate it. You got any shout outs?
Shout out to the whole DCM Entertainment family. Shout out Todd Boogie. I shouted you out. I didn't forget you, brother. I got you. Everybody, man. Ray Boulette, Cage Lounge, Carlu Productions. Those are the guys that shot Autobiography and Lookout Boy. They shoot dope videos. Red Dot Productions, Fan of the Beat, Fan of Music, Rob Schwartz, Who Mag TV Distribution. MJ, you do an incredible job, baby. I see you grinding. And just be on the lookout for the Rhymrcka Soul Project coming up soon. And get The Matrix. It's out now on all digital streaming platforms. Get Autobiography. Get Lookout Boy. Rhymrcka, I'm coming. I'm coming with that fire. I got you. Check me out on IG, Twitter, Facebook. My handle is RHYMRCKA. Once again, RHYMRCKA on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. The email is dcmglobal@gmail.com. The website is dcmdigital.net.